Welcome to the BDP ICP number 9. Here the main objectives are three things. First thing is identifying the clusters with the help of K-means algorithm, and the second one is how to sort an array with the help of merge sort, and third one is identifying the graph path using DFS. So the first algorithm, we'll just look at the first algorithm, that is K-means. For Before doing all this, we'll just include one more dependency to the Spark dependencies, that is Spark mlib, to include the k-means dependencies. So first one is k-means, where we are just trying to import this mlib dot clustering of k-means and the k-means models, and we are trying to instantiate the Spark configuration as well as the context, and we are using this mlib and Lenal vectors for k-means vectorization. First one is, let's start with the algorithm, and here we are just creating an object called k-means, in which we are just doing the Hadoop directory path, and the name of the application is just the k-means application. It can be any name that we wanted, and we are invoking the Spark context. And the first step is like we are setting the number of clusters in the k-means algorithm. The clusters can be randomly taken, and now it is taken as 3, and the max iterations are the input in the input range that we are going to take, and it ranges from 0 to 20 in this context, because the max iteration here is 20 is what we are taking. Actually, the objective of the k-means algorithm is like it will identify the nearest distances, nearest distances between a group of observations, and it will just group them into clusters by calculating the square of the distances between them. So the first step here is like we are just taking the text file, uh, that is SC, that Spark context or text file, and we are providing the input path, and the input is this one, and in this we have this crime data.csv, where we have the place number and then crime cluster, murder, assault, and broadband pop on it. All these values are there inside this, and then we are just trying to store the headers here. Like the basic objective is like we are trying to remove all the headers for each thing. um, then the next step is like we are just trying to remove the headers. After that, we are mapping the data. We are mapping the data into like different vectors, and then for each thing we are just using the inbuilt train method to send the parse data as well as the input clusters as well as the maximum iterations. The main objective of this is like it will be initially what it will happen is like it will be classifying the it will be assigning each observation to each cluster, and it will be temporarily creating the clusters. Then all the nearby observations to that observation with the help of calculating the WCSS, that is within sum of squared errors, will be calculating the minimal distance between that observation to other observations, and based on the minimum distance will be classifying them into different clusters, and each clusters will be having the respective centroids. So the objective is like a final objective is like we'll be displaying the WCSS score as well as the cluster centers, the final clusters centroids, that is the centers. We are going to display it. So let's run this program, and the configuration is already set to k-means. Let's take a look. Like here we do have the world class dot k-means, and uh, uh, world class dot k means, and now since it takes the text file path as input, the input is already here and which we saw. Now just run this output and let us see the output here. Mm. So the output is here. This is the WCSS value, that is this one, and the cluster centers are these values which indicates the clusters. Then as we have taken the clusters are three in number, here we got three things, that is this is the first one, and this is the second one, and this is the third one. This is how the cluster centers varies. And then um, and then let's move into the second program, that is merge sort. What basically happens in this merge sort is like we here we'll have a list, and we are going to sort that with the help of the merge sort. The basic algorithm of merge sort will be like if you have a list, and then we'll be splitting that list into two halves. The center will be the center will be the position where we are going to split it, and this will happen as a recursive function until the center becomes 0, and the center will be split into right half and the left half, which undergoes this merge sort again. And finally all the outputs that has come out of the right and the left will be combined and together into a merge, it will be merged again, which will be combined as a list. So let's take a look at the program. First we'll be instantiating the Spark context, and the second step will be we'll be identifying the list length, and we are dividing it by 2 for this value of n. And if the value of the n is 0, we'll be terminating the program there itself by giving the input as the output. Else what will we do is we'll split the list into two halves, that is left and right, based on the split at the center. Then we'll be passing this in this left and right to the merge sort function. The left will be passed to merge sort, and right will be passed to merge sort differently. What will happen in this merge sort is, again, this is a recursive function where we'll split the list into two, and then it will again undergoes the merge sort until the center becomes 0. Then after that, after doing this merge sort, we'll be finally merging this left and right list by taking the inputs as left, and this is left list and right list, and we'll be taking, and finally we'll be merging the values here. And so the input that we are taking is this one, and finally the uh, merge sort will be coming, and like the finally the merge sort output we'll just see like this. Let is merge sort, we'll just run. See, the input that we have taken is 719358, and the output that has come is 1357890, which is a sorted list. And this is the end of the merge sort. Now let's proceed to the DFS dot Scala, that is DFS program. The basic concept of the DFS algorithm is like it will be helpful in identifying the graph paths, like shortest paths kind of thing. So the basic objective is like every time to identify the distance between the nodes, it starts with one node, goes to the next child nodes until go to its own next child nodes until it reaches the next node. The input that we are considering in this context is this one, that is 1 will have a link with 7 and 9, and 7 will have a link with 1 and 8, and 8 will have a link with 7 and 9, and 9 will have a link with 1 and 8 respectively. The pictorial representation of the graph will be this way, like 1 will be linked to 7 and 9, and 9 will be linked to 1 and 8, and 8 will be linked to 9 and 7, and 7 will be linked to 8 and 1 simultaneously. So the next step is like what will happen here basically basically is like here we have two functions, that is DFS and DFS0. Here the vertex that we are starting with is 1. So this will be passed to DFS as well as the DFS0, where whenever we are visiting a vertex, we'll be saying that the vertex will be printing the vertex value, as well as we'll be saying that the vertex is visited. If the visited array contains the visited array, as you can see, it is a list. Okay, so if that list contains the vertex that we are proceeding to, then we'll be skipping that one and we'll be proceeding to the neighbor thing, until we'll be reaching the vertex that we already contain in the visited list. This goes on as a recursive function again and again, and the final output will be like the reverse order of the list that we are proceeding. That is the reverse order of the visited list will be the output of the DFS. So let's take a look at the output here. When we so just take a look at the configuration first. The DFS configuration. The DFS configuration has word class and the DFS. So actually we are just taking the input directly and we are just printing the output in the console, so there is no need of the program arguments in this context. So even though there are the program arguments for this configuration, it will be ignored, or else like we can just remove them directly. It's of no use. So let's run and see like how this DFS works. So here is the output. First it starts with 1, it goes to 7, 8, 9 and 9, and so the input that we have taken is 9871 and the output that we are arriving at is 1789, and this is the DFS path of the graph that we are seeing. So it starts like it proceeds like first it will start with 1, then 7, and then 8, and then 9. So that's how the DFS proceeds, and thank you.